Great morning and happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome to our Breakfast Club call. Today is Thursday, July 27th, 2023. And my name is Pamela Pacheco. I have the absolute honor, pleasure, and privilege of being your host this wonderful morning. If you are returning, welcome home. If you are joining us for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. I remember when I first embarked upon the journey of entrepreneurship, I was looking forward to these type of calls. And not only was I looking forward to these type of calls every morning for the information I was going to receive, but I was looking forward to these type of calls for the inspiration. We often hear garbage in is garbage out, greatness in is greatness out. So shout out to you, each and every single one of you that are making the decision this morning to make sure you're starting your morning with some fuel, with some positivity, with some greatness, because how you start your day sets the tone for your day. So welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are just joining us for the first time, if you have no idea what you are going to look forward to, not only are we going to go over some inspirational things and information. Last week, if you joined us, we did a recap of our Freedom Academy event and spoke about some practical steps to implement. Today, what we wanted to discuss with you is something that I think that we all know that it is a part of business and it is a part of life, right? That is called leadership. But we're going to talk about certain types of leadership, but we're also going to talk about what a mature leader looks like, right? A mature leader, and not only in business, but in life. And when we talk about the several types of leadership, people often practice in different situations, whether that be in your family dynamic or that be in your career or your business, right? We have some autocratic leadership, which is the type of leadership that basically involves a leader who has complete control over decision-making. And rarely does this type of leader ever involve input from others. This is the type of leaders that makes decisions without seeking the opinions or ideas of their teammates or their members in their community or just basically other people, right? And then we have the democratic leader, where in this type of leadership, the leader always encourages participation, right? And seeks input from your team members, AKA family members, when making these decisions. And this leader, when you're in that space of a democratic leadership, you value collaboration. You value taking the opinions of others and the idea of others, per se, into consideration, right? Then you have your laissez-faire leadership, which is the type of leader that allows members to have a high freedom and really autonomy to make decisions and perform their task on any given moment or however which shape, way, or form they desire. Then you have this type of leader also is the leader that provides minimal guidance. And as I'm going through these leadership types, type of 1 or 2 or 3 in the chat, if you identify with any of these, absolutely, absolutely. Make sure you're sending it to all panelists and attendees. So when we're talking about, transformational leadership, the next type of leadership is the leader that inspires and motivates their teammates to achieve their full potential. These type of leaders encourage creativity, they encourage personal growth, they encourage innovation, and these leaders often have a clear vision and are very, very, very influential when it comes to inspiring others to work towards your common goals. And then you also have the transactional leader, which is focused on just setting clear goals and expectations for their team members. You'll see a lot of corporations, right, hire performance coaches, such as myself, or leadership coaches that just really come and just focus on, hey, we need these KPIs moved, we need the bottom line affected. So these are the leaders that they're pretty much focusing on just setting clear goals and expectations from their team members. And depending on what type of task is at hand, they're probably going to use some type of rewards or punishments to motivate the individuals to achieve those goals. And this type of leadership is based on a transactional relationship where rewards or punishments are pretty much contingent upon the performance. And last but not least, you have your servant leadership type, which is this is my favorite type of leader. Is the servant leader is the one that prioritizes the well-being and the development of their team members, because we know that they're family. We serve rather than seeking personal gain or power. We really support our team members and empower them to achieve their goals in every aspect, shape, or form. And it's important to know that the leadership styles can sometimes be a combination of the different types of leaders. And really and truly, when it comes to effective leadership, effective leaders often adopt a style that is based on the situation or the needs of their team or a task that needs to be done. So whether you consider yourself an autocratic leader, a democratic leader, a laissez-faire leader, a transformational or transactional or servant leader, it's good to keep in mind that when it comes to these leadership styles, there may be a case where you apply one versus the other, right? Yes, Lisa, blended leadership styles for the win. Absolutely. Because at certain times, certain types of leadership styles are required based upon the task at hand, based upon the goal that it is that you want to do. So when we're talking about, signs of a mature leader, or would say the mark of a mature leader, number one is, if you're taking notes, you want to write this down. A mature leader masters the mouth. And what do I mean by that? Every day we speak enough words to fill a book. Did you know that? Fun fact for the day. What kind of book are you writing? What does that book look like? Is that book positive? Is that book encouraging? Is that book empowering? If you can go back in your journal, and it's interesting because when we were in Phoenix, we had a quick huddle with the one and only Mr. Matt Morris, and he was talking about journaling, and we referenced to this last week on our call as well, and talking about journaling, and I was saying how gratitude journaling just completely has changed the course of my life. Consistently has just changed how I live my life, how I go about my day, how I start my day, etc. But it was almost as if he didn't recognize himself as he looked back on his journaling, as he looked back on who he was. And it just goes to what you're thinking, you write. Right? And what you write in ink sometimes sinks, yes, all the time, but it's good for you to write these things down. And I'm not saying that everything that comes to your mouth is going to always be positive, right? But how are you working through those moments? How are you navigating through those difficult times? How are you navigating through the no's in this business? When we talk about, a mature leader is a master of their mouth, it's also mastering your emotions. One of my affirmations for every single day is, I am a master at my emotions. I am a master at communication. Why? Because I know that emotions are my superpower. Yes, right? They can be absolutely amazing, and that's what drives me, but that can be absolutely amazing because sometimes I care too much about things that I shouldn't, or people that I shouldn't, right? And it's realizing the difference of when to pretty much tap into that emotion, right? But being a master of my mouth is every day being conscious, being aware, but being intentional on what it is that I am declaring over my day, being intentional on what it is that I am declaring over my faith, over my family, over my fitness, over my fortune, over my fun. And if you're just joining us and you're like, what is she talking about? What are these, 5 F's you speak about? The number one is your faith. Your number one F, this is how we compartmentalize our life, right? And number two is family. Number three is fitness. Number 4 is fortune, and that fortune can be your business. That fortune can be your career. That fortune can be any shape, where thing that whatever you do to get to this bag, right? But your fortune. And last but not least, your fun. So when we talk about being masters of your mouth, how are you speaking life over your situation when you know that your business, nobody's business is where you necessarily want it to be at, right? We're working towards it. Well, how do you master your mouth when it comes to this business? Are you speaking positivity over your business? When somebody doesn't answer the phone, do you let that discourage you? It's very easy for you to be like, oh, well, they didn't answer the phone right now. Nobody's going to pick up. So what is a way that you master your mouth in that moment? Instead of saying, hey, nobody's going to pick up, how you master your mouth is saying, hey, I'm going to get the next one. Hey, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that the next one's going to answer. Well, that one didn't answer because God didn't want that person to talk to me today, or however you want to do to flip that and shift that perspective in that moment is going to determine not only how you get out of that current moment, but how your business looks moving forward, how your business looks in the future. How are you mastering your mouth when it comes to what you say about yourself, right? We often hear your emotional triad of the very state that you're in is, your body. What's your body doing? And that in that moment determines of how you're feeling, or what also is, what are you focusing on? Whatever you focus on the longest becomes the strongest. But part of that emotional triad is our language, right? What are you saying? The self-talk, the self-meaning, the actual very meaning that you're giving the thing. So it's realizing, okay, well, this may not be serving me right now, but that doesn't mean that there isn't hope. And I encourage each and every single one of you, when it comes to your business, when it comes to your life, when it comes to your faith, when it comes to your fortune, when it comes to your fitness, your family, your fun, only speak those things that you seek. Speak what it is that you seek each and every single time, because when you're talking about declaring, being a master of your mouth, right? Being a master of your mouth is being intentional with each and every single word that comes out of your mouth. It's very easy. And I'll tell you, I've been making calls. We had this wristband challenge. Your girl finally took off her wristband challenge. But one of those things is like making calls, right? We spoke about last week that we had a brand new list. And one of the calls is also that we're making our 2 follow-ups. And to be honest, your girl does not like following up with people. If I show you once and you do not get started, I feel some type of way. But I also know that's my own ego, right? Your ego is not your amigo. Your ego is edging God out. And I know we hear that sometimes way too often, and it sounds cliche, but it's the truth. And I realized that. I said, you know what, Pam, the only way through is through. And for you to get something that you've never got, you got to do something that you've never done. And this is me talking to myself, because I understand that there's power in my words. Just like I'm utilizing my words when I'm communicating with people, and I am sharing the information, and I am passionate about the information, and I believe in this with every fiber in my being, right? It's like, are you mastering what it is that, are you mastering your mouth? Because what comes out of your mouth is so powerful. And I could spend the entire hour this morning just talking about that. But ask yourself, what kind of book are you writing right now? What kind of book are you writing over your business? What kind of book are you writing over every aspect of your life, your family, your fitness, your fortune, your fun? Right? Master your mouth. That is one of the marks of a mature leader. Number 2, choosing right over easy. So what does that mean? Maturing past pleasure means choosing long-term satisfaction over short-term gratification. I'm going to repeat that again. Maturing past pleasure means choosing long-term satisfaction over short-term gratification. So it goes back to, again, I'm going to apply it to this business. It's very easy for you to not pick up the phone. And it goes right back. Exactly, Denise. I feel you. You feel me? Denise says, I feel you on the follow-up. It's an area of growth for me. I'm working on it and I'm committed to developing that area of my skill sets every day. Amen, sister. Yes. Because let me tell you, especially when you've reached a certain level of not only success in your life, but growth, it becomes tough, but it's having those, it's being aware, because that awareness is key. And it's saying, okay, cool, how can I be intentional about changing that? And again, the reason why I'm talking about that is because that correlates exactly with what we're talking about, choosing right over easy, because you understand that the only way through is through, and long-term satisfaction over short-term gratification is saying, hey, you know what, right now I might feel like my ego got a little boost because I didn't follow up and haha, you didn't get the best of me. But long-term satisfaction is I know that I know what this can do for you and your family. See, if you were at Freedom Academy, you understood the Ben Shabbat family painted the vision even more clear when it comes to investing, when it comes to wealth building. It has never been more clear. It has never been more evident. A lot of people say this is what's going to happen, that is going to happen. No. We're seeing it. So when you talk about long-term satisfaction for people, man, it is beyond instant gratification. It is beyond the ranks. It's beyond the residual. You talking about generational wealth. You're talking about legacy. You're talking about impact that is going to outlive us. So choosing right over easy, it goes back to your daily disciplines. It goes back to, are you strengthening your mindset? Now we have this thing with the inner circle. And I'm going to tell you guys, before I ever met Matt Morris in person, I knew him because of Drive Time University. Right? That is what we used to call our inner circle audios back in the day. Before I ever heard Eric Grisbowski, I heard him on an audio where he was talking about you build with, you build through, you build for. So when we talk about, man, the tools that we have immediately, yes, guess what? Short-term gratification would make it easy for you to go ahead and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go turn the radio on, man. Listen, Nicki Minaj got a new album out. It's a banger. It is. But guess what? She ain't adding to my residuals. I love my Barbie and everything, right? But let's make it our own world. And how you do that is focusing on the long-term satisfaction, focusing on those little things that you can do today that are going to have a long-term impact and effect on your life and your business. And if you're saying, well, Pam, you know what, I don't even know where to start. I am brand new to this business. Cool. Start with little micro goals. Start with things that you can do in the next 2 to 3 weeks that are going to be able to affect that macro goal, that are going to be able to get you to that long-term goal a lot faster. So make a quick list of 20 people, right? That's the numbers. There's not one person. Shout out to our fearless upline leader, Josh Valentine, and I, that go through a fast start with somebody, and we tell them that's the number. The number is 20. You wanna see your business explode? Put us in front of 20 people. That's been the numbers over the last decade. Okay, and you're talking about people that have built organizations of thousands of people. That is the number. Put us in front of 20. Not you talk to 20, not you verbally vomit. And if you know what verbally vomit means that rather than you inviting people to see the information, you try to explain it. Put us in front of 20 people, right? We'll not only help you make your money back, but you'll make your money back and a profit, and you'll see growth. So again, choosing right over easy. It's easy not to make the phone calls. It's easy not to pick up the phone because it feels like 80 pounds, right? When you're making that phone call, but choosing what's right for your legacy, choosing what is going to be right for your freedom, that is really, when it comes down to it, what matters the most, because what you focus on the longest definitely becomes the strongest. So what are you focusing on right now? What are those things that you're going to choose right now that you're choosing the right thing to do over easy, right? So make the list. Make the invites, set the appointments, set the calls, listen to the personal development. Everybody on here should be on Inner Circle. Every single person on here. You want to talk about taking your business to the next level? Your mindset is where your mind sits. What you focus on the longest becomes the strongest. We all go through obstacles in life. You either just went through a storm, you about to go through a storm, or you just got out of one, right? It's like, it's one of the three. You finish one, you in one, or you about to go through one. So how do you prepare yourself is putting on your armor. I put on the armor of God every single morning with my prayer, with my meditation, with practicing stillness. However, put on your audios. Like listen to your things, infuse your mind, infuse your intellect with the things that are going to serve you, with the things that are going to long-term satisfy you. Everybody wants freedom, but guess what? Freedom isn't free. How do you fight through those obstacles? How do you fight through those moments? Because we're all gonna have those moments where you're like, man, I just want to throw in the towel. I just rather call it a night. I just rather go to sleep. But it is in that moment. It is in that moment where you want to give up. It's in that moment where you just want to choose easy, that you're like, nah, you know what? I'm gonna make that one more call because I got that expectation. Ooh, I got that feeling. I got a feeling. Dun, dun. Y'all know the song, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? But that's my moment for the morning. But yes, you have to have that level of expectancy. You have to push through. You have to persevere. You have to persist, because if you knew that next phone call, if you knew that next meeting was not only going to be money, honey, it was going to be golden, how fast wouldn't you pick up the phone? How fast wouldn't you make sure that you do another one, right? So choosing right over easy every single time. Number 3 is positive under pressure. So a mature leader is positive under pressure. And I know you're like, what? I mean, it's easier said than done. I know, me too. But the truth of the matter is that if we can't serve when no one is watching, we'll never be ready when everyone is paying attention. See, a lot of people see the glory, but they don't really get a chance to hear the story, right? And if somebody said, repeat that, if we can't serve when no one is watching, we will never be ready when everyone is paying attention. Yes. So it goes back to what we were talking about. What you do in here, you get paid in public, you get celebrated in public for your private failures. A lot of people saw me on stage, and so many people are commenting, and it's always interesting, right? To see so many people that quit on their dreams, that quit on their goals, to be like, man, I see you on stage. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy. But it's 9 out of 10 times those people that quit on themselves, that quit on you. And guess what? It's a lot of what people didn't see when I was on stage, right? Is that the day before we were talking about this, that my brother had suffered a horrible car accident. What people didn't see was the obstacles that I had to go through to get there. What people didn't see was how many people told me no, was how many demonstrations people said no to, was how many presentations people said no to themselves, no to their future, was how many people said that they were going to get started and didn't get started, was how many people said that they wanted something and then gave up before they even made the phone call. But see, a lot of people will never see any of that, because you can always tell the size of a man or a woman's character by the size of the obstacle that it takes to take him or her out. And you may see me sweat for a little bit if you know me, right? But when it comes down to it, we gonna get the job done. And we're going to execute flawlessly, because that's just what we do. This is just how we're built. And we were made for such a time as this. I know that my mother's prayers are still covering me for such a time as this. And those same prayers have prepared me my entire life. So when it comes to this business, how you do anything is how you do everything. Is it pressure when somebody says they're going to get started and they don't get started? Yes. Is it pressure when you know you got to make that list and you don't feel like doing it? Yes. Is it pressure when you want to continue to persist and persevere, but the people in your household aren't supportive? Yes. But guess what? Pressure makes diamonds. So are you positive under pressure, or are you throwing in the towel? Because what are you doing when people aren't watching? You get paid in public for what you do in private every single time. So whether it's picking up the phone calls, whether it's setting the appointments, whether it's driving to the meetings. Do you know how many times I show up to a meeting and my prospect isn't there? Do you think that it does not happen? It happens all the time still. But here's one thing that I know, only way through is through. Here's one thing that I know, that if it can happen to a 7-figure earner, 8-figure earner, why not me? Because if I know I'm going to have something that I don't have, okay, it's by doing something that I haven't done. It's saying, hey, you know what? If it can happen to them, it could happen to me. And the more times it happens to me, that means that I'm closer to getting to where they're at. I'm closer to getting to that lifestyle. I'm closer to being able to live my best life. But you got to go through some pressure. You could tell me, you could sit here and be like, oh, you know what? There's so many people that went through pressure to get through events, so many people that went through some things to get to where they needed to go. But it's saying, it's like, okay, you know what? My vision is greater. My vision is greater. I know what that feeling looks like. So I'm gonna do whatever it is. Is it pressure? When this is always a funny one, right? And if you ask this question, please don't take this personal, but it is funny. But this is also one of the pressures. When it's, again, you got to be positive under pressure. A lot of people, yes, Denise, pressure makes diamonds. Amen. A lot of people, when they get started, we explain, you know, hey, this is what the membership, the loyalty program is 50-50, and you're getting charged for a membership and you're getting charged for products, right? So right now, and this is again, just full transparency, our company is working through the kinks of when your club secret membership gets processed, for you not to receive an email that says we shipped something out to you. Because a lot of people are like, what are you shipping out? I didn't order anything, right? Well, we know it's not shipped. We know that that's just an electronic message, but that's pressure. Imagine you're a brand new person and you're getting started. So it's like, if you think that the only pressure you're going to go through when you build this business is getting people in the system, is showing the deal, no, then when you're going through it and you're getting people started and you're getting people acclimated and you're helping people be successful, you're going to go through some pressures of people not understanding their membership, or you're going to go through some pressure of people having questions. But that is the pressure that I'll go through all day, every day as a leader. So it goes back to, are you positive when that pressure comes? And how do you be positive? By knowing your membership, by knowing your products, knowing the opportunity. I absolutely love that someone can say, hey, I can get my aunt that just wants to be a customer get a free trip every year without her having to be an agent, without her having to be involved in our business as an affiliate. How special is that? Do you know that, right? A lot of people are under the misunderstanding that you have to be an agent to get a thank you trip, a loyalty trip every year. No, you do not. You can have $50 in products and $50 as a club secret member and earn your thank you trip every single year. Or if you just want to have 100+ in products every month, it doesn't matter how you set up your loyalty, you get reward here for your loyalty. So it's never missing a training, right? It's never missing one of these calls that we have every single day, whether it's morning or night, or going back to listen to the recordings that allow you to be knowledgeable, that allow you to be certain when that pressure comes. Because that, when you're certain, you're positive. That is one of our basic human needs, need for certainty. And in this business and in life, the person that is the most certain, he or she that is the most certain, always wins. So are you positive when that pressure comes? Because if you're not, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna come. So how are you doing? What are you doing right now to make sure that you are positive? Are you strengthening your skill sets? Are you sharpening your axe? Are you doing the daily activities? Are you mastering the mundane? Are you doing those things day in and day out that are only going to help you grow, that are only going to help your business grow? If you guys are getting value from this, type of V in the chat. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yes, make sure you guys are sending it to all panelists and attendees. I read each and every single one of your comments. Absolutely appreciate y'all. Yes, yes, yes. And number 4, mature leaders are self-aware, but not self-absorbed. So what do I mean by that? Be self-aware enough to know that it hurt, like it bothered you, right? It was uncomfortable a little bit, but not self-absorbed enough to believe that it can control you. So again, being self-aware enough to know that it hurt you or it bothered you, but not self-absorbed enough to believe that it can control you. And it goes back to what I was talking about. Are you mastering your emotions? Are you a master of your emotion? Are you the person that has the mindset that says, hey, you know what? No matter what is happening to me, life is 10% of what happens to me and 90% of how I respond. So do you know that? Do you know that it's not how you get hit, it's how you're getting up? What is your mindset when it comes to obstacles, when it comes to pressure, when it comes to uncomfortable situations, when it comes to uncomfortable conversation, when it comes to the no's, when it comes to growing through what you're going through? Yes, Delicia, shake it off. Indeed, indeed. Self-aware enough to know, hey, that it hurt. Okay, well, how can I grow from this? And I'm gonna take it to another level. How can you grow from this? And how can you grow and what could you learn from the situation? And that's how you shift it right away, because it's knowing that if you can get in front of it and say, hey, you know what? This wasn't the most favorable situation. Well, how can I learn from that? I don't even dwell on the fact that, oh, it hurt or it bothered me. It's like, okay, well, how can I learn from this? And let me learn from this. And okay, this is what I could do to learn. And how can I apply this so that I can grow? How can I utilize this so that, God forbid, this ever happens again, I know how to handle it? That is how you get in front of things, because when you just let things hit you and you don't attack it and you don't confront that thought, two thoughts cannot coexist in your mind at the same time. So when something enters your mind, something enters your conscious space and you're like, okay, well, this is not serving me, get in front of it. Counteract that with something positive. Reinforce that with something that is going to give you a different perspective, that is going to allow you to shift your outlook, that is going to allow you to shift your emotional state in that very moment. Because when you do that, it can't control you. You're controlling it. You're getting in front of it. Why? Because now you're being more solution oriented than problem focused. You ever hear these people? Like my friends know. They know they got 24 hours to vent, 24 hours to get it out their system, to cry it out. And then after that, we're gonna put on big girl draws and we gonna move forward, right? We gonna move onward and upward and forward, because life is a fight for territory. When you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will automatically take over. So it's like, either you're gonna give it all you got, because trust me when I tell you, life is gonna life. It's gonna happen. Murphy's Law, what can go wrong will go wrong at the wrong moment. But are you living in a state of gratitude? Are you living in a state of optimism where you're looking forward? You're looking forward, onward and upward. And you're like, hey, you know what? I know what the vision looks like. So right now, it's not gonna control me. I'm gonna have that positive outlook. I'm gonna be able to shift it. So if you are just joining us and we are doing a recap really quick, right? So we talked about these several different leadership styles, from autocratic leadership to democratic to laissez-faire to transformational leadership, transactional leadership, and servant leadership. And a lot of people identify with different leadership styles, some blended leadership. I myself am a very servant leadership and transformational leadership. Kind of laissez-faire also, but servant leadership is definitely my favorite. But we were talking about the marks of a mature leader. Number one, if you were taking notes, it was a mature leader masters the mouth. You know, every day we speak words. What kind of book are you writing? What kind of book are you writing when it comes to building this business, when it comes to building your dream life in every aspect, in your faith, in your family, in your fitness, in your fortune, in your fun? A mature leader, number two, also chooses right over easy. It's maturing past pleasure. It means choosing long-term satisfaction over short-term gratification. Going through those things that immediately may not necessarily be serving you in your business, may serving you in your life, knowing, okay, hey, you know what, I'm going to pick up the phone, even though it feels like it's 150 pounds. I'm going to show up to the next meeting, even though the last 7 ones were canceled. I'm going to keep smiling and dialing because I have hope that the next one is going to be this person that's looking for me, because we're looking for those that is looking for me. And choosing right over easy is knowing that you're sorting, you're not selling. You're providing solutions. You're not selling people, right? But the only way through is through. Number three, mature leaders are positive under pressure. If we cannot serve when no one is watching, we will never be ready when everyone is paying attention. Diamonds are built in pressure every single time. And number four, lastly, but not least, is mature leaders are self-aware, but not self-absorbed. And it just really is this, right? Maturity doesn't happen in a moment, but it is seen in moments. Maturity doesn't happen in a moment, but it is seen in moments. Growing hurts. Changing hurts. You can have change without growth, but you cannot have growth without maturity. So when you think about the obstacles you face, when you think about the things that you've gone through in life, that you've gone through in your business, what areas are you trying to improve? As leaders, we're called to mature. We're called to get better. We're called to strengthen and empower and encourage one another, because maturity, it's never, ever about being noticed. It's about being helpful. It's about knowing that you're impacting, you're serving other people. But this has been your Breakfast Club call for July 27th, 2023. Breakfast has been served. Great day and God bless. Hope this was of value to each and every single one of you guys. Thank you guys for joining. I read each and every single one of your comments. Thank you, thank you, thank you.